Hi, I'm Gary White,
And I'm Yvonne McNary.
here for Central Kentucky Talks. And today we're going to be talking about yoga, which I know is something close to Yvonne's heart, right, Yvonne?
Yes, it is, Gary. I love yoga.
And you teach it.
I teach yoga, and I've taught yoga for a couple of years now. I used to teach at St. Catherine College, and I've taught at the Lebanon Health and Fitness here in town, and at Balance, and a couple of private classes as well. So I really enjoy yoga.
Now, most of your clients are adults.
Adults,
Have
yes.
you worked with kids in the past?
I work with a few kids, but never having done a yoga for kids class.
Well, today we have a special guest. Her name is Teresa Ann Power, and she has actually written the book for Yoga for Kids. It's called
Yeah.
The ABCs of Yoga for Kids. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Gary. Nice to be with you and Yvonne.
Oh, nice to meet you, Teresa.
So, we're going to be talking about yoga and particularly about with kids. But first of all, Teresa, tell us a little about yourself and how you first got involved with yoga.
Well, I actually got involved with yoga 30 years ago when I was going to law school, and it wasn't as popular back then, but it really helped me calm down and de-stress and regulate myself. And then when my kids were younger, I went into their preschool class, and I had stopped practicing yoga. I mean, stopped practicing law, and still practicing yoga, though, and I ended up being certified to teach yoga. So I taught at this preschool, and eventually they loved it so much that I developed a whole yoga program at my children's school, and I taught the
Wow,
faculty, I taught the kids, I taught the after-school program, and that's where I came up with this idea of the ABCs of Yoga for Kids book. It's basically an alphabet dictionary of yoga poses for kids with
Okay.
beautiful illustrations by Kathleen Reese, my illustrator, and then little poems describing how to do the poses. And for young kids, I found it's a way to engage them right away, because I'm sure Yvonne knows this, but teaching adults is different than teaching kids.
I'm sure it is, yes.
You have to have, I mean, yes, we know all the postures, but you have to really, you have to just scale it in a different way, because kids, especially I teach like 3-year-olds sometimes, and they're not apt to want to, sit still for very long. So you
Right.
have to make it fun for them, so that you're engaging them in the poses, but at the same time, you're moving kind of at a faster pace so that they can, they don't get bored, so to say.
So, what's the A?
Okay, so A is for the airplane pose, and
Airplane.
it's also
Airplane.
for the alligator.
Well,
Oh.
the airplane adults do that as well. So are there any different ones that you use that adults don't use?
Just a few. That's a very interesting question, Yvonne, because basically there's 56 postures in this book, all kid-friendly and kid-tested. I taught yoga for 16 years to kids and adults, but there's the boat pose. You know the boat pose.
Yes.
The only ones that are different are the ones I had to make up. For instance, for the letter of the alphabet Q, I had to make up the queen pose because I couldn't think of anything that started with the letter Q. So basically, the queen pose is mountain pose, which is still actually an adult yoga pose. But where you just stand tall and ground your feet into the earth, and with your palms facing forward and alongside your body, and you just breathe in this pose. So I call it the queen pose.
Oh, very good.
And the one that I did make up that's not an adult pose is the X pose. I have kids make themselves stand tall and then cross their arms like the letter X. So that's one that's made up. And also I have N is for new pose. So the little poem says, "It's time to make up a new yoga pose. I must remember to breathe in and out through my nose." So kids love making up new poses. For instance, they want to be apples, or or whatever they want to do, and that uses their imagination, which is so great. It's fabulous. It's so fun. It's just my yoga is fun. I mean, it's just a way for kids to
And
have
yoga
fun.
is for everyone, everybody.
Everybody. Oh, it doesn't matter. All ages, all athletic abilities. You can be overweight, underweight. You can be a musician. You can be an athlete. It doesn't matter, because yoga, you knew this, Yvonne, from teaching, is that yoga meets you where you are. So yes, it's just for anybody, and that's what I love about it. And I'm really trying to spread this message of yoga around the world right now, because I think kids really need it. Well, we all need it, but we're under siege with all this technology and the smartphones, and kids younger and younger getting iPhones, and it's crazy. And the technology is good to a degree, but the kids and adults need a little break from it, to take 5 minutes just to to breathe and do some simple yoga poses.
Well, we talked a little earlier about the fact that a lot of schools are adapting yoga now. Instead of having detention classes, they're putting the kids in a program where they learn yoga and breathing and learning to control themselves.
Yes, we did talk about that, and I think it is so fabulous that schools are doing this. And like we had talked about, there is a zero detention rate at this school in Baltimore that first implemented this program. And now they're using that school as a model for other schools to do this. And I think schools are beginning to realize that yoga is really an important part to bring into the school curriculum, whether it be for detention or just doing some simple yoga poses. Because, you know, a lot of schools now are ditching PE classes. A lot of them are getting rid of recess. I mean, because they're so worried about the high-stake testing, and they want to get all that curriculum in, so they're really abandoning a lot of these traditional things that, you know, the kids need. So I think just, you know, having some of this yoga is helpful for the kids.
That's great. Now, also, you're working on a project that's coming up actually on April the 7th. It's International Day of Yoga for Kids. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, last year I came up with this idea because I came out with a new book last year that's a supplement to the ABCs of Yoga for Kids. It's called The ABCs of Yoga for Kids, a guidebook for parents and teachers. So I decided I was going to launch it on a day, but I thought, well, I'm going to launch it on Kids Yoga Day, but there is no Kids Yoga Day, so I created it. So last year I had, I think, 25,000 kids from 46 states and 28 countries, all participating, practicing 5 minutes of yoga. And last year, I think it was on April 6th. It's always going to be on the second Friday in April to celebrate spring, you know, rebirth and kind of
Sure.
moving forward. So this year, we've doubled that. We already have 40,000 kids from all 50 states, including Kentucky, and we have 36 countries starting. So it's going to be this wave of yoga at 11 a.m., whatever time zone you're in. So it starts in Guam, and it's going to go all the way across, you know, the world, the United States, and it's going to end in Hawaii. And it's just so exciting. This is my mission. It's like I really want to, I want to be the pioneer. I want kids all over the world to be exposed to this, you know, tremendous thing that's called yoga. It's been around for thousands of years.
Now, are you guys going to all be doing the same poses or similar, or each one be doing something different?
Well, no, what I did is I put together a 5-minute yoga routine, and I have one that's only standing poses, and one that if you have room to spread out, because schools are doing this, yoga studios are doing it, child care organizations, you know, so whoever signs up, they have access to the free routines. And this whole event is free, too. If you go to kidsyogaday.com, you can sign up, and basically we have ambassadors signing up, and then they will lead the kids through the 5-minute routine. So that's already there. And if they want to do their own routine, they can too. I mean, I kind of want it to be a fluid thing because I can't oversee it. But I'm giving people guidelines, and it's very simple to make it easy for people to be able to do it. You know, because the simplicity is the key. So, you know, it's not a complicated thing to do. And it's so powerful because kids feel like they're connected with other kids all around the world, whether they're in New York, Michigan, Greece, Guam, Australia, South Africa. I mean, it's amazing. It's just this huge global movement.
What would you say working with kids is the impact that yoga has on them? What's the benefit for them?
Well, there's so many great benefits. So I would say the number one, which we all know about, is it helps relieve stress and it calms them down. Because even just right now, you know, if we just take a deep breath in through our nose and out through your nose, which is a very calming way to breathe, it instantly kind of shifts your attention and makes you feel calmer, more relaxed, gets more oxygen into your system. And so that's the one we all think about. But it also develops discipline, because doing these poses, you have to discipline yourself to focus and concentrate, which is another great benefit for kids. And that, in turn, love telling kids it helps their grades at school, because the more that they can focus on their body or standing on one leg and lifting the other one up, that's the balance, the concentration, the focus, developing strength. It helps them focus on what the teacher's saying. They're not apt, their minds aren't as apt to wander. And also it helps athletic performance, because if you practice yoga, it really limbers up and tones your body and helps you do other sports. And it also, which is interesting, it also tones your internal glands and organs. And Yvonne and I were talking a bit about it earlier, about how it can help with childhood obesity. And one way it does is because it helps to regulate your metabolism. For instance, if you tuck your chin into your chest in some of the poses, that's actually activating your thyroid gland and helping to regulate your metabolism. So there's a lot of things going on when you're doing these poses that you don't even know about.
Wow.
So those are kind of the top benefits that they are. And also it heightens body awareness and self-control. So that again helps kids to be able to self-regulate, especially preschoolers. I mean, it's really great to watch these preschoolers start doing this and really start to learn how to self-regulate themselves, which is hard for them to do on their own.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, we're talking with Teresa Ann Power, who's written the book, The ABCs of Yoga for Kids. And how can people get a copy of your book?
Well, they can buy it at Barnes & Noble and Amazon, and they can also go to abcyogaforkids.com.
Okay.
And if somebody's interested in taking part in the International Day of Yoga for Kids, there's a website for that as well?
Yes, and that website is kidsyogaday.com. Again, kidsyogaday.com. It's a free event, and my goal is to have 1 million kids all around the world practicing yoga. So I'm up to 40,000. I think I'm going to get 50,000 by April 7th, which is next week, because we're having new people signing up every day. But anyway, yes, anyone out there that wants to learn more about it or get involved, it's kidsyogaday.com.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate you talking with us today and sharing your information on yoga and its benefits for children and adults as well. And hopefully people will get out there and get your book and learn more about International Yoga Day.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Gary, and I love talking with you and Yvonne, too, so this was wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.